Hey everyone, this is D, Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And speaking of reactions, it looks like we have a new trailer that dropped today. So today I'll be reacting to the newest teaser trailer for Marvel's Eternals. Written and directed by Chloe Zhao, and starring Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Brian Tyree Henry, Kumail Nanjiani, Salma Hayek, and Angelina Jolie. Let's get into it.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I like that.
We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress and seen them accomplish wonders. Throughout the years, we have never interfered until now.
Ended when you said goodbye.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Okay, but I mean, is that a hint? I'm just, I wonder. So I know I've said this before, but what I really enjoy about the MCU is all the different perspectives, all the different worlds, all the different themes, just all the ground that we cover with every new film, every new character, every new phase. Like there's all of this content and story and all these aspects to the MCU that we explore as we continue on. And I really love seeing that. With Iron Man, we had wealth and we had innovation and we had technology and engineering. And then with Thor, we had Norse mythology and we saw Asgard. With Captain America, we got this whole idea of the past blending with the present and then venturing towards the future, this whole idea of courage and bravery and patriotism with a bit of a dark side. And then with Guardians of the Galaxy, we went to space and we saw all these planets and all of these aliens and creatures. And then in Ant-Man, we got to explore the whole subatomic perspective with the quantum realm. Then in Doctor Strange, we got magic and mysticism, the astral plane, the mirror dimension. And then with Spider-Man, we got to explore the awkwardness of adolescence and high school and growing up and just kind of figuring out your place as a young adult. And then with Black Panther, we got all these aspects of Black identity, including the conflicts of the African versus African American experience. We got to see royalty. We saw all these tribes, this rich culture and heritage. We saw Afrofuturism and all of this technology also. So we have seen so many different aspects. We have explored so much within the MCU. And it's interesting because at one point, a lot of those films wouldn't have worked. Even when I think about Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man, when those two were first announced, people were like, oh my gosh, like this looks dumb. Like this isn't gonna be good. I mean, literally, people said that. Now, Now, me personally, I was into it from the beginning. I was like, oh, like at that point, I already was like, you know what, this is something different. This is something interesting. So most of the time, I was pretty excited. And both of those have gone on to become two of my favorite MCU films. I love the first Ant-Man. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I've really, really enjoyed those. And at one point, if you look at the evolution of the superhero genre, we wouldn't have seen things like that. I think it would have seemed really silly and ridiculous, you know, space and shrinking and all these things. But if you look at, you know, Batman and Superman and just where we are now, there's been such a progression with the kind of concepts and ideas we can explore. And I love that now it's so open. Like there really are no limitations to what we can see with these characters, with this world, with this whole dynamic within the MCU. I love it. I really do. So as I previously mentioned, this film is written and directed by Chloe Zhao. Many of you may know her for her work in American independent films, such as 2015's Songs My Brothers Taught Me, 2017's The Rider, and most recently Nomadland in 2020, a film which has earned her many awards over the past few months, including an Oscar win for Best Picture and Best Director. So she has definitely made history. She has made waves in the industry. And I really am excited to see what her perspective is going to be when it comes to these characters and just carving out her little piece of the MCU. And of course, going from independent filmmaking to big budget filmmaking. This is like huge franchise. Like you don't get any bigger than Marvel. So I'm really excited to see like how that's going to translate here. I am absolutely loving the visual style for this film, and it seems to be somewhat different from the films we've seen before with the MCU. Something about this seems very distinct and very sharp and very cinematic. There's just something so unique and distinct about a lot of the shots I saw here. I just was like, wow, especially these shots of these civilizations and palaces. I'm already a huge history buff. I'm already into period pieces. So seeing these characters explore the changing dynamic of the world, that is going to be really interesting to see. And then also seeing how pivotal their influence has been throughout the years. I mean, that is a really unique perspective to take, and I'm really excited to see that. I am always here for a great ensemble cast. I am definitely here for a great diverse ensemble cast as well. So seeing all the different actors and actresses that are involved in this, even when it was first announced and now seeing them in action, I'm like, man, like this is really going to be an experience. There's so many actors in this that I recognize and whose projects I have enjoyed. Gemma Chan in Crazy Rich Asians, Richard Madden in Cinderella and Game of Thrones, Brian Tyree Henry in Widows and If Beale Street Could Talk, Kumail Nanjiani in The Lovebirds, and then Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. I've seen so many films of theirs, like I can't even like pinpoint one or two. I've seen them in a little bit of everything, and I'm so glad that they're a part of this as well. So yeah, overall, I'm very intrigued by this. I actually was upset because I was like, wait, it's not enough, but of course it's just a teaser. But it definitely gave me enough to want to dive into this and learn more about the characters, learn more about their abilities, learn more about their history and their connection to each other, and then of course what their antagonist is going to be. And I'm just ready to see everything come together. Like I am here for it. I mean, I was already excited for this when it was first announced. Really anything MCU related, I'm automatically excited for. But just when I heard about what the synopsis would be and just this whole idea of these immortal beings connected to history and civilizations and all of that, I was really excited for that. And of course, now seeing it, I'm even more excited for it. And I am really excited to see where Phase 4 is going. Like, we have had some solid entries here, so I'm excited to see like where we're gonna go now. Like Phase 4, yes. Eternals will be released in theaters November 5th. I will most definitely be watching, and of course, I'll be here to give you guys my thoughts. So, once again, this is D Movie Man, signing off, and I'll see you at the movie.